All right, we're now looking at sketching sine and cosine, and we're going to, in the unit after this, we're going to be looking at how to take these sine and cosine graphs and transform it. So we have to go all the way back to whenever we learn transformations, because we're going to be doing it all over again. But we can't do those until we have a good understanding of actually how to graph sine and cosine. And it's relatively straightforward if you know what to look for. So I'm going to say, let's call this 0, and then we have pi over 2. Remember, that's 90 degrees, but we call it pi over 2. And then we have pi here, that's 180. And this is 3 pi over 2. And then we're back here at 2 pi, and we keep going around in a circle. Now, we do have points here. So we've got this point, 1 comma 0. That's on the unit circle there. This one right here is 0 comma 1. I don't know, apparently I don't know how to write anything here. 0 comma 1. This is negative 1 comma 0 and 0 comma negative 1. This happens often when we're doing our solving questions, or when we're finding exact values. We have the chart. Now usually it's written like this, and just using a circle, but this is the exact same outer points. We also know that sine is on the right. Okay, so sine's on the right. So this is how this looks, and you'll have this memorized very, very, very quickly. But we'll start out just how to create this. So when we are at 0, this is our x. Okay, these are all of our x's here. So I don't know how to write that, but these are all of our x's because this is in radians. And of course, this is our height. So looking at our radians at 0 radians. So we'll start here. At 0 radians, what is our height? 0. Okay, so we're here, our height is 0. Okay, just stick with me here. When we are at pi over 2, what is our height? Looking at the right, we're at 1. So at pi over 2, we're at 1. So let's call this 1. The next one, at 0, or at pi, what's the height? Look at the right one. We are at 0. So at pi, we're back to a height of 0. At 3 pi over 2, what is our height? Look at the right side, it's negative 1. So at 3 pi over 2, we are here at negative 1. Maybe we can label this negative 1. And then here, we are at, now we're at 2 pi, we're back to where we started. We are at a height of 0. And it's always like this. 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1, 0, negative 1. It keeps going. You can see it here. So we can fill in the rest of this. So 0, negative 1, 0, 1. So you see how we make this kind of this loop. And then 0, and then we go here. Negative 1, move 2 over. 0, move 2 over. 1, 2, move 2 over. 0. So there's always this pattern, and you can see here, we go down to negative 1, go to 0, go up to positive 1, go to 0. And it's going to keep with this pattern. So some things to note. How long does it take for us to repeat a cycle? When do we start repeating ourselves? So we have 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. So the 0 right here, from 0 to 0, that's not repeating ourselves because we go up to 1, 0, and we go down to negative 1. That's still different. So we repeat ourselves every time we go around in a loop, which is how we got coterminal angles. So it takes us, you can even see here, say we started here, there, and then right there is when we would start again. So it repeats itself every time. And what is that time? Well, that's a full period. A full period is a full time around, which in this case is 2 pi. So, or 360 degrees. So we went from 0 pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi, and then we started repeating ourselves. So it takes the distance from here to here is one full cycle. That is 2 pi. So how long does it take to repeat ourselves? 2 pi. The amplitude, we'll get to all of these ones. So first, what's our maximum height? So we go from 0 up to 1, 0 to negative 1. So our maximum height is our y, would be 1. How low do we go? Well, that would be negative 1. Domain. How far left and how far right? Well, these are called periodic, where they will repeat themselves. There's no problem spots. They're going to keep going forever to the left and forever to the right. So we say x can be any real number. Sometimes we say in interval notation, we say negative infinity to positive infinity. Now the range is different, how high and how low, right? So range is how far down, comma, how far up. And if you equal that, then you could do a square bracket. So how far down does this go? It goes to -1. How far up does it go? It goes to +1. And it actually hits those dots. They're not open circles, so we do square brackets. The x-intercepts, you can see here, we have 0, then we have pi, 2 pi. So you can see that we have 0, pi, 2 pi. Those are all of our x-intercepts. And it keeps going forever. Dot, 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 dot. So it seems like we repeat ourselves every pi. So 1 pi, and add another pi to 2 pi. We would add another pi to 3 pi. So you would get a pattern there. The y-intercept, we cross the y at a height of 0. And the amplitude. So the amplitude is the distance. This is really important, the distance from the top to the middle. So that distance there is from 0 to 1, that gap is 1. You can also do from the middle to the bottom. That gap is also a height of 1, not negative. We're looking at just it's a positive number. So the amplitude is 1. Okay, so that's the end of this video. We'll do another video explaining how to graph cosine. And then we will do some questions, after that about a little bit about transforming things, but not really. But we'll do a little bit.